Welcome to learning the basic understanding meditation. The basic understanding meditation starts with sitting in a good posture position, like myself. This will be a video on basic forms of meditation, fundamentals of it, and what you can expect from meditation and what it can do to benefit your health, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Begin by understanding that you need to sit in a good posture position, in an upright form. You've seen beginners probably lay down. I did not teach that. It's good to be connected to earth and heaven as we connect the chakras and our spinal fluid of the Kundalini. So sitting in a good upright posture position is crucial for all meditations, including energy meditations. So sitting in a good posture position, keeping your body relaxed and sink into your seating area is important. We need to recognize grounding. The energy of the body and our intention. Intention is very important. Intention is the experience of awareness. Awareness starts with your expansion of this experience. When you're looking at something from a distance, or when you're observing the body, when you're observing sounds, observing smells and tastes. These are states of awareness that the mind enters into. Awareness is very important because as you build a repetition of breath work, because breath is life and life is breath, and to harness the awareness of breath requires the repetition of it. Breathing in the nose, out through the mouth, maintaining your tongue on top of your mouth. And the reason why you maintain your tongue on the roof of your mouth because you want to keep the electric current of the body to flow. This helps you with finding clarity, calming the thoughts within the mind, eventually finding the source of clarity that is no mind. Pure consciousness is consciousness. You're consciously aware of, ness, no mind. And when you have conscious awareness of clarity without a thought or emotion, pop it in there and start processing. When you can control that, that's the clarity. And majority of people don't know what clarity is. Clarity is a place of peace. It's where the mind has entered into a state of awareness with this repetition. Now, a lot of people don't experience clarity until they pop with the awareness of thoughts, like the experience, wow, I'm in clarity. But even saying, wow, I'm in clarity, you're not in clarity no more. So there's a sense of control. You must control the mind through the repetition of breath, knowing that you're using the breath to ultimately control the mind. You're switching the narrative, you're switching the intention, okay? From the thoughts and emotions of the mind, the visual images, the pain and frustration of the body as well, because that's another level. Is we have to understand that we're living in a physical world, but really the physical isn't truly real, and the mind can alter it, your state's reality. So having awareness of your thoughts. Awareness of your thoughts is like, as you're thinking and dwelling and daydreaming and in that mind of yours, you come to a realization of awareness when you just say that, like, I'm aware of my thoughts. That's all you have to say that a couple of times to yourself or out loud. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm thinking right now, I'm aware of my thoughts. Now you're aware of your thoughts. You like turn it on. Breath awareness. Working in a repetition state of breath. 4 seconds into the nose. Very soft, very calm. Not this, nothing like that. Like, so you're exhaling, you're inhaling, you're exhaling very slow, but that 4 seconds duration. Awareness of the surroundings is another one. Because you're not familiar, you're familiar self with the awareness. But with repetition of breath, you're turning that off as well. You're just noticing it's there, but you're not allowing the intention to flow towards it. For instance, or a particular sound or a particular sight. I can hear the birds outside, people talking, cars going by, the wind blowing. There's all different types of intentions. My intention can lock on the birds. I don't want that. I want to have a broad awareness of my surroundings, but not attach myself to it. Okay? We all make mistakes. We all attach ourselves to something, including myself. So we must untouch the attachment of that intention so we can break away and just have the expansion of awareness. Because awareness is not intention. Like, I'm aware of my thoughts, but I'm not putting my intention on one particular thought or one particular idea, even when the thoughts and ideas are constantly running. I have awareness of my thoughts. I'm recognizing I have too much of it, and other things are not working. So meditation is going to work. I have awareness of my surroundings. I'm not attached on one particular, sound. I just have this awareness. The body. The body might have pain in the lower back, the knees, the ankles, the upper back. I have awareness of the entire body that might be having some discomfort, but I'm not attached. Awareness is key. More awareness you have, less conflict you have with your body, with the surroundings, with your thoughts, and with others. Awareness is key. And how to get to awareness is by recognizing the breath. of awareness. So breathing in the repetition, like any kind of repetition. Lifting weights, I just got done lifting weights. I just got done doing stretches, common thing. Now let's work on the repetition of breath so we can heal the mind. The mind is a conscious thought processing mind. And the reality of your awareness, of your experience of a human being, your touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, seeing, your experience. Those experiences are gathered with emotions, positive, love, happiness, joyfulness, pleasures, negative, emotions of, raw aggression, hatred, fear, depression, sadness. So you're having this human experience from the senses of the human body. So this energy is gathered within a quantum field system. That's what you are. You're a quantum field system. You're not just a supercomputer that can process all this data. You're a quantum field because you're interacting with your field of life. The subconscious mind is a non-thinking mind. I know this for a fact through my scientific and meditation practices, that the mind has a subconscious state of non-awareness, non-local. The subconscious can store data from our 5 senses of perception that we perceive with our state of awareness within our reality of life. Our daily life, we are always absorbing information that a lot of the times is overload. And that overload gets stored in our subconscious, and we experience subconscious information from the conscious awareness mind being turned off, or I would say on a lower level of alpha or beta waves. That the mind, when it sleeps, it transfers subconscious data into the conscious awareness. And when we wake up, we slowly get ourselves together and start processing the conscious awareness data. So, in meditation, we want to clear the conscious awareness, because the conscious awareness thinking, thought processing mind, for majority of us, are overstimulated information. Because not only we perceive information, we gather information, we process the information, and that processed information gets overstimulated, and we're always out there trying to look for easy solutions to an impossible problem that never gets solved. So what we need to do is work on something that we're all familiar with, a repetition, like working out. We can take care of the body, we can also take care of the mind through this repetition process. So let's start meditation. So it's always good to put your hands in your lap. I'm in a half lotus position. You could try it. I would just suggest you sit Indian style. If you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, there's always a chair you can sit on. Try not to sit on a couch. Do not lay down. You want to start the breath with a 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out, okay? And you want to maintain your tongue, top of your roof of your mouth. And I would let your tongue just be how it is on the bottom of your mouth, and breathe in, and then put your tongue on top of your roof of your mouth as you exhale. Okay? And it's important to inhale and exhale from your mouth. So I've seen people do this. You want to release the breath with the exhale through the mouth. Because not only you're building up this repetition to clear the thoughts within the mind, you're also building lung capacity and your immune system with your lungs. So it's important to breathe out through your mouth to build lung capacity. And also it helps with the chakras that we later get into other practices. So breathing, you want to breathe in a way that when you exhale, you're slowly releasing it. When you're slowly releasing it is very important. Another note is in mindfulness, the eyes are closed. In awareness meditations, the eyes are open. So let's try to close our eyes. Inhale the nose, out through the mouth. You want to feel the sensations as the air is going into your nostrils, going down into your esophagus, hitting the back of your throat, going into your lungs, filling your lungs up, exhaling, feeling the sensation, the tingling, warm sensation, hitting the top of your mouth with your tongue, and slowly exhaling it, feeling it hit your lips as you extend this awareness out through your mouth. So it's important to keep a good repetition and really feel the sensations of the body. Getting familiar with your body is very important towards healing your own mind and everything else that you need to heal. You want to gradually fall into a state of no mind and no thoughts. You want to relax the body as you exhale. That's why you exhale very slow, and also long, because you're settling the sensations of the body, the stress, the fear, the thoughts, everything downward. You're releasing tension, anxiousness with every inhale and with every exhale. As you breathe in this repetition, you might start feeling some tingling sensation in your knees, your legs might be starting to fall asleep. Try to push through this. Try to push through it with breath. Try to last as long as you can with the foot, a leg that's fallen asleep, or anything else part of the body. Really focus on that breath. In, out. Maintaining this repetition. Forgetting about the worriness, the thoughts, the complaining, the images of things in your mind, the body that's in physical pain, sounds outside, not putting your attention on things to aggravate your meditation, to aggravate the experience, to find peace, to find settled thoughts, to find clarity, just to be in this state. Try to not fall asleep. Do not try to fall and sleep. Try to drink water. Have a good water bottle next to you, a glass of water. You can drink water before you do practice, a whole glass of water. I would recommend. If your leg starts really falling asleep, try to push through it with repetition, breath work, and then eventually move it, okay? But try to go as far as you can with it. Pushing yourself to these limits like I have done. Another technique is really helpful to get rid of the thoughts in the mind is to squeeze the breath. So for instance, when you're breathing in the nose and out through the mouth, squeeze the lips. Like you're whistling, but not so much. For instance, like this. And also it's important to pause at the end after you squeeze the breath for 1 or 2 seconds. It brings yourself to a state of awareness, of calmness. And then gradually go back into the breathing in the nose and down and out through the mouth. Squeeze that breath, pause at the end. It helps you relax. It gets you in that state of less thoughts, less emotions of thoughts, less worriness, less anxiousness, less anxiety. And then breathe back in, breathe back out, squeeze that breath, pause at the end, and just keep on cycling through this repetition. And slowly open your eyes and you'll find yourself in the state where you are. Meditation, even if you have subtle thoughts, emotions and thoughts, they eventually calm down. The important thing is to maintain the breath intention, the repetition, because that's really important. You want to strengthen that. You want to strengthen it, and I would say that's the only thing that you're using intention for. Everything else, you're not using intention. We want to strengthen one thing at a time. The breath of this sensation of awareness with the intention and the mind discipline, because in order to calm the thoughts of obsessive thinking, radical thinking that interacts with your nervous system, that creates stress and fear and anger and hatred for some people, not all people, and also people that think and have to be think tankers for businesses or business, job, career. You're given this task to think, this multi thoughts, and you're left with this illness from your job. Because overall, thinking overthinking doesn't help the mind or the body at all. Overthinking and uncontrollable thinking to the point that it's just always on, always processing, is not good. It's unhealthy, very unhealthy. The labels of the medical field, like using ADHD or PTSD, the ADHD can be cured. The PTSD can be cured with meditation. You just need to put the discipline into it. You just need to put the work into it. Like anything, it's not that difficult. Oxygen is free. What requires is the willpower. It's the willpower that you need to take the approach to. So, I'd recommend buy one of these. I bought this at Walmart for $8. Sometimes you get it cheaper, like $5. It's a calendar and marker board. And I would write meditation 4 times a week for 20 minutes. Trial by fire. I would try not to set a timer, because timers give you a little bit of tension, anxiety, because you're always anticipating when the clock is going to go off. So you're always looking at the clock, you're always wondering about what time it is. You're always putting that intention on it. So clocks, putting a smartwatch on and having that clock and anticipating, the time, or wandering and worrying about the time is not good. Just put 20 minutes for 4 days Write 20 minutes underneath it. And don't worry about if it's 20 minutes precise. Maybe it was only 15 minutes. Maybe it was 30 minutes. Because once you find yourself into clarity and you're still working on this repetition, time like sits still. Time is relevant to you. And that's a good thing because you're working towards this experience, this ability to clear the thoughts of the mind. And once you find yourself in clarity, you might just jump out of clarity, and that happens for beginners. They jump out of clarity and they start wandering with their thoughts. They start thinking about the errands they need to do that day, the chores, all of the things just start rattling in the mind. And what you need to do is to have that awareness and say, I've got my thoughts. Awareness of thoughts. The awareness of thoughts. Okay. And what you need to do is discipline yourself to go back to meditation, work on that repetition, and go back into that clarity. Because if you reach clarity once, you'll reach it again. And the second time comes around, you'll be able to kind of come out of it slowly. You will have thoughts, possibly subtle thoughts, but you won't be like hyperactive or jumping up and just thinking about things. Another thing with awareness, another thing with clarity, once you find yourself in clarity, you pop out of it, the time frame of you setting like 20 minutes could be past, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Maybe you saw the clock when you started and it was, say for instance, 2 o'clock afternoon, or 10 o'clock in the morning, or 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you start. Now, I would prefer you start in the morning. It doesn't need to be really, really early, only if you truly want to do that. Some people will wake up and they'll start the meditation in the morning after they eat something. That's great. That's good for beginners. I would recommend that. You want to avoid meditating at night for beginners. Meditating at night, there's a lot of energies. There's a lot of field activity going on. And you're not prepared for it yet. Until you learn some of the other practices that I have to offer. So, once you snap out of clarity, you might realize from when you started and when you pop out into this awareness, you might see that you might think and process and say, well, I was only meditating for 1 or 2 minutes, and now it's 10 minutes. So that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Some people don't like the idea that time sits still within this experience. But we know that we experience this in sleep. So it's okay. And that's the beauty of clarity, because clarity is like your phone being backed up the data, okay? That's like clearing out the information, clearing out the cloud, clearing out the information within the mind. It's rebooting it, it's cleansing and clearing it. We find ourselves more happy, more peaceful, more connected when we meditate to our surroundings and to others. And less judgment, less confliction, less conflict. And everyone, including myself, need to meditate. It's just the human awareness that brings us closer together as human beings. Thank you for watching this meditation. Hope my practice helped. And look forward for your questions. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section of my Patreon.